to the administration. I am not black, I am not white, I am Latina.
Dear Berkeley board members and Berkeley High administrative team, throughout my 4 years being a student in the IB program, I had never found a class where I truly felt welcomed and a place that felt like home until this year in this course. The Chicano Latino Studies class has helped me find my voice and has taught me how to advocate for myself. I have developed skills in this class and I have slowly outgrown my introverted personality. Being a student of color in IB was hard for me during my first 3 years in the program. I felt like an outcast. My peers weren't inclusive most of the time, and I never really opened up or felt that my ideas or shared my ideas because I felt the things I had to say weren't smart or good enough. I always feared speaking out and getting judged for the things I said and the way I said them. Consequently, I was always a shy, quiet girl in class. It wasn't until I began this course that I grew out of my shell and began to participate more through class discussions, group projects, and various presentations. Ms. Guzman pushed me to speak more and would often call me on the spot to share my ideas with the class. I can now say that this class as well as Ms. Guzman have helped me strive and improve as a student, which has also made a positive impact in my IB classes this year. I don't think I would have had the opportunity to learn about my culture or my people's history by having taken this class. This course has made me more aware of things around me and about the issues in my community as well. A lot of the times I was able to connect the things we learned in this class to personal aspects of my personal life, which made this class so much more interesting. Berkeley High School should preserve classes like the Chicano Latino Literature Studies because it raises awareness of the things that aren't taught in the regular school curriculum. It is important for minorities to learn and have an understanding of their background and their people to better understand themselves and help inform their identity. While some might think that only Latino students would benefit from taking this class, I strongly believe that we need more students from different backgrounds signing up for this course because it will expose them to new ideas and important information that would allow them to better understand their peers, thus creating a stronger and more unified community at Berkeley High School. Thank you.
Dear Berkeley High Administration, Cesar Chavez once said, "How could our people believe that their children could become lawyers and doctors and judges and business people while this shame, this injustice was permitted to continue?" Chavez is referring to the barriers people of color faced 30 years ago, the same ones we continue to face today. People of color are continuously oppressed by those in power. Writer Joseph Campbell once said that we must follow our bliss to open up doors where walls once existed. That is exactly what we do in a class such as Chicano Latino Literature. We are in a space where we do not have the fear of being excluded. We are surrounded by those who can relate to the struggle of oppression. Most importantly, we are in an environment that makes us happy. People of color have many similarities. Mainly the struggle we face is being oppressed by those in high power. Both the African American and Latino community have activist groups such as the Black Panthers, Brown Berets, and the Young Lords organization who desire the equality between people of color and white Americans, all of which are vaguely or not talked about in a regular class setting. Ms. Guzman took the time to educate the Chicano Latino literature class about all of these different groups, giving me the feeling of unification and empowerment. Offering this class to all students benefits our school community because it offers a safe space many students of color yearn for and gives them the empowerment needed to maneuver through society. Currently, politicians publicly dehumanize ethnicity, calling them rapists, criminals, and labeling refugees as terrorists, resulting in tension within our community. The Chicano Latino class has achieved many accomplishments. Despite these achievements, the administration made the decision to eliminate our safe space with the argument that investing in this curriculum is not worth it by society. This class is not required for students to take due to other classes such as AP being labeled more important. In result, students are unlikely to sign up for this class. Chicano Latino literature class is just valuable as AP courses because it would expose students to a new style of learning, giving them new perspectives by teaching several topics that a regular Eurocentric class would fail to speak of. Non-colored students are not required to take a Latino studies class, but yet all colored students are required to take an American or European history class. What is that we have What is it that makes our history different? What makes our history different? If we truly want to get over racism, let's come together, learn about one another, and put an end to these inequalities. In Chicano Latino literature, we spoke about three pioneers of muralism: Diego Rivera, David Siqueiros, and Jose Orozco. In required classes, time was spent talking about Diego Rivera. However, the curriculum fails to mention Siqueiros and Orozco, leaving their hard work behind. Diego Rivera is known only for the beautiful paintings he has created that was influenced by the corrupt Mexican government. Chicano Latino is like another amazing Diego Rivera painting. While many see this class as majority Latino students, we hold a bigger significance. Our lessons are influenced by society and big issues happening in society today. We are influenced by current events that we gather information on and distribute among our peers. Diego's artwork cannot separate people. On the contrary, it gathered them together to look at all of these important art pieces. Similar to those famous Rivera murals, Chicano LA has brought students together of all ethnicities to observe our greatest influences. My favorite journalist, Jorge Ramos, spoke about the reasons he decided to practice journalism, stating, "My only advice is follow your dream and do whatever you like to do the most. I chose journalism because I wanted to be in places where history was being made. My dream is to make a difference in the way we learn. Making a difference allows us to educate the generation after mine about different steps they could take to fight against the oppressive structures. Advocating for the future of this class is what makes me happy. Let us offer the same opportunities to the generation after mine to make an impact as well. Let us offer students of all ethnicities the same education opportunities. Let us gather up and unify to put an end to oppression together. Let's forget about skin color and our differences. We all come from struggles. We all have shared many similarities that, by unifying, we could break walls and create doors to new pathways and break onto the other side, a side of hope and peace with no racism or discrimination. Chicano Latino studies should be protected and continued in order to put an end to racism. Let us continue to gather students of different ethnicities and make new opportunities for new generations." Thank you.
I am an IB student in the Chicano Latino Literature and Studies class. So you all know, my perspective is that of a student taking a class on a culture that is not mine. I barely understand any Spanish, and my counselor wished I had taken another class, maybe an AP or an IB class that would look better on my transcripts to college. I have learned this year that none of these factors matter. You don't have to be Latino to take this class. In fact, I hope that non-Latino students take this class. As an IB student, I know that the International Baccalaureate program likes to boast benefits to students, such as becoming more culturally aware, more understanding of things in a global context. This class fits those criteria to a T. If you can recognize the merits of the IB program, I truly hope you can recognize the merits of this class. I feel that it has made me a student that I can be proud of. I take risks more, I ask questions more, and I value my own voice. I have opened up deeply through my writing. I have learned to share things about myself I would never share in my IB English class, taught by a teacher who was volatile, discouraging, and who pushed me into a shell. If not for Ms. Guzman and this class, I would still be in that shell, not realizing my potential. If not for this class, my perception of myself and a writer would be a mere shadow of what it is now, and for that I am eternally grateful. There are countless other things I am grateful for as well. If I had not taken this class, my writing would not be as good. My knowledge of history would be completely Eurocentric. My knowledge of literature would be almost completely devoid of Chicano Latino work. The bottom line is that, as a citizen of a state with a population with Latinos as the majority racial group, it baffles me how one can say that this class is not relevant, that it is not necessary, or that it is not important. It is 100% necessary that students get the chance to learn about their own people. It is necessary that students get the chance to learn about the culture of their friends, fellow students, fellow citizens of this country and this earth. It is necessary that Berkeley High students learn about Latino history in a non-Eurocentric light. Because how are we supporting the Chicano students by telling them that they were conquered, that they were slaves, and that the whites were always the ones with the power? That is not equality in education. You as the administration have the responsibility to make education for everyone, to make everyone feel comfortable in a classroom and proud of who they are. It is in your hands to make sure that this program continues to thrive at Berkeley High. By doing so, you will ensure that students are given a place where they feel celebrated and heard and seen. That is great power. I urge you to use it well. Thank you.
transferred to Berkeley High School my sophomore year because I heard how diverse and liberal the environment would be. Prior to my arrival at Berkeley High, I went to a small school that had a majority white student population in a very wealthy suburban area. I did not feel represented within the class or out, and I felt my voice did not matter. Yet as I stepped on campus for the first time at Berkeley High, I saw the segregation of the 1960s I had learned in history. White people gathered on the senior steps, black people near the red bricks, and Latinos near the G&H building. I assumed I was going crazy, so I didn't pay too much attention. But still, as I entered my first AP class, AP Chemistry, with Mr. Leahy, I saw the statistic that I know now. Only about 3% students of color take AP courses at Berkeley High, and in that class, I was the only 3%. This trend repeated itself all throughout my high school career, especially since I was in the academic choice learning community. The word diversity no longer meant embrace a variety in cultures. It just meant a bunch of people only used as a statistical advantage for the Berkeley High demographic. Although I felt my input was not welcomed in class by my peers, and my heart pounded each time I raised my hand, I forced myself to share my opinions on different topics. I made my voice important, and no one else could degrade it. I just wished I had a platform to share what I had to say with people who actually appreciated it. The Chicano Latino class did just that. I initially took the class to fulfill the history requirement I needed to graduate Berkeley High, but what I got out of it was more than just the 5 credits. Ms. Guzman took my class and I on a journey of our heritage and how our native land was stolen from those who today do not want us to be here. She provided us with literature such as the book Drown, that shared the life of a Dominican black man living in the Bronx, which discussed the ever-present racism many people of color like I face today. Most importantly, she gave us the safe space to discover our identity as a multicultural people, despite the internal borders we may face. I found pride as a Mexican-American woman in a society that wanted me to be one or the other. I don't think you understand the greatness of that discovery. For a long time, I allowed my identity to simply be categorized by a check mark on the box Hispanic when I registered for exams. For a long time, I allowed my identity to be the stereotypical Latina who would drop out of high school like her parents did and have a baby after the teen. For a long time, I was seldom to take pride in my Mexican culture because I was never raised in Mexico, but wished I was. For a long time, I was seldom to be known as an American because then it meant that I was white. White wasn't good, right? Yet this class broadened my perspective. My culture no longer pretended to never exist in my life and in history. My people made mistakes in history just like the Europeans did. My people made great inventions just like the Europeans did. But the difference between the traditional Eurocentric curriculum I endure every day and the Chicano Latino class is that this class allowed me to see not just one perspective, but both and more. I can now understand my community better and tend for their needs. I can now desire to know what other communities are struggling with similar issues. I can now be a better leader at Berkeley High and beyond because I know no matter who I face, I know who I am. My identity is real. For Berkeley High to say they have an inclusive environment for all students is a lie. To only have 5 African American classes and only 1 Chicano Latino class, when in reality both communities are growing by the year, is insane. And let's not forget the other students of color, like the Asian population, Middle Eastern population, or any other ethnic group existing at Berkeley High, who have not one class that pertains to their culture. Your mission statement takes a lot of pride in its diversity, but do you? Administration, I would like to ask you, who are you prioritizing in this curriculum for a student body where more than half the population are non-blind students? I would like to ask you, what are you proactively doing to make sure the student body allocates a more inclusive environment in and out of the classroom? I know for a fact my grandparents did not illegally cross the border that once crossed us for I not to get the free, equal education I deserve as a natural-born citizen of the United States than my white classmate has. Oh, and you may wonder how such a class like the Chicano Latino benefits the non-Latino community. If you do not mind me reminding you, we are all immigrants to this country. We should know of each other's history when sharing this space. I will be attending George Washington University in Washington, D.C. this fall. I will be the first to be going to college in my family. I will be graduating from Berkeley High School with a 3.9 unweighted GPA and a 4.25 weighted GPA. All of this was accomplished with my hard work, my determination, and my vision for myself that was not provided nor encouraged in the Berkeley High community. I do not wish to stress upon any other student after me, so I invite you to provide an in-depth ethnic studies department that enriches the culture of all students who exist at Berkeley High. We are more than just a paragraph in history textbooks. We are more than just a statistic. We are more than just to be silent. I am not Black.